Hello, this is Athena of AMG Creates, and I'm titling this card Glad You're Here. I'm using the Wild Wolves stencil, the Nighttime Sky stencil. There is a Magic Iris camera add-on. I'm just using the camera part. The pull tab that goes with it, and then the Let's Toast pull tab is that little T thing that I have right there, and that allows the little Instax Polaroid thing to come up and down, and you'll see that later in the video. I decided to use some not so bold colored colors for the camera. They're going to get dyed out, they're going to get cut out, and you'll see what I do with them. I chose two colors. I will be using this camera again in a later video with the Magic Iris. So that center of the camera that gets cut out, I will be putting something in there instead of using a pull tab to pull up. I'm just cutting both of these out, and then you'll see what I do with them. I'm going to put them together so that it's not one uniform color. I'm also getting the what used to be the clicker. There's also on the other little side that I'll be working with, there is a flash looking thing and something to put on that little tab, that little T tab. So if you guys are liking my cards, my plan with me so far, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment, if you're a fan of Fawn or you'd like to see some sort of card, if you want to see a card that is more geared around Valentine's Day that's coming up, then let me know. There's also St. Patrick's Day. If you'd like more birthday cards, stuff like that, I can sort of gear my cards towards that so you can see what things look like. Also, make sure to go on the Lawn Fawn website. There are a couple of different things on there that I have. By a couple, I mean like um, three probably foot-long totes full. I have a lot of their stamps and everything. They're really good company. So I'm cutting this one out too. And then I'm gonna decide kind of which one goes together, which one I like more. So as you can see, there are two. I like mixing up the colors. I know a couple of people back whenever the Instagram colors were like cream and brown and green and stuff, they actually put those colors running vertically in the middle, and that was kind of nifty. So I'm cutting it out, and all I'm doing is I'm just going to use the middle. That way it gives it a little bit more color. And I like the blues because whenever I look at the wolves, I think like cold, I guess. This card did take me about an hour to put together, and that was with some thought in it. I didn't actually start out my thought process and run, a timer to see how long it was going to take for me to figure this stuff out. Most of it is just me playing around, which is why it's so much fun, why I'm doing 3 a week. So you can see what it looks like from a easier card all the way up to something that, like I said, takes about an hour. So I used glue on this, and this is so I can move it around a little bit to make sure that it lines up rather than the tape, which will inevitably be tapey. You won't be able to take it off of there. So that is going in the middle. There are two different cuts that'll happen, and I had realized later that I need a darker one in the middle rather than that light one. So I'm doing a couple of things. I didn't have a pokey tool with me, so it was a lot of bending to get that out. And this is where I did the back because I like the little the glare on it, if you will, on that circular part to be white. This was me wondering where my tape runner was. because I'm so put together like that. So I just cut the white to put it on the back, put one more strip on there because there was a little bit, and then I realized that I would like a darker one rather than that, so I go get a darker one and cut that out. And I think that it looks a lot better the than that tan one. And I don't need all the paper, so I rip it off. Yeah, you'll be able to see what it looks like, and I think it looks a lot better. Now, where I'm putting that dark piece of paper in a couple of weeks will actually be where I'll be putting a picture. And I think it'll look interesting. I haven't played with the magic iris part of it. I do have it, but I figured that it'll be something else that I can do on here that'll be fun to play with. And of course, I'm gluing that so that I'm able to move it a little bit. As I said, this card from start to finish took an hour. I think that we're only here, I narrowed it down to 20 minutes. There was a few bits of editing that were in there. Whenever I'm moving to do the die cuts and everything, I edit that out of there so that you guys don't see it. Of course, that glue is going to dry clear, which is really nice. So that is pretty much all done, and I set it aside to dry so that I can work on the next step, which is kind of making these little Instax pictures. So what I'm doing is I'm going to use 3 of them. 1 for the pull tab and 2 for the inside of the card. So I just cut those 3 times. It doesn't come with an extra little square, the square that's in there. It's a whole lot easier to cut a bigger square than it is to use the square that they gave me. So I'm going to go through there and do a little bit of math and penciling and stuff like that. The pop-up thing, this is actually the size of why I kept saying Instax, is because it's actually the size if you still have those of that camera, so you can use actual photos. Well, if you want to go and print them out at like Walgreens or something too, you can still use actual photos, you just have to cut them out. So I'm going to cut all of those. And I'm going to make a mark on there so that I know where to stop when doing the coloring and stuff. There's no need for me to, granted it's only like half an inch, but there's no reason for me to color all the way down whenever I'm actually doing this. And while I'm doing that, I'm kind of thinking about what I'm going to put on there. Of course, I'm going to use the wolves and everything. I didn't want it to be too much. You can put a whole lot in in a little scene, and with it already racking up time, I didn't want it to be too much. So I lied in this. I guess that I didn't use the stencil. I actually used the moon that they had. I'm coloring it in, and so that it doesn't get too cheesy, I'm putting some gray over it. Because while the moon does reflect the sun and make it a little bit yellow, I guess, it's still gray. I'm just coloring in all of the wolves and everything. I wasn't really sure of background, so I just kind of made it a solid-ish color. And it was really fun just coloring a big spot. I didn't really do anything too, um, yeah, just coloring over stuff basically. And then using a different color for this background. I did enjoy coloring like this though. I don't really color any big spaces. So how the speed is about how I feel like I was coloring. Of course, just a little bit of shading work and stuff like that. So I keep picking at my mat, at my glass mat, and that is because I played with some stencils and seen what glue and sparkles could do. And I regret it because I didn't clean that little part off. So it messed up a little bit of the pictures, but thankfully you can't see that. So I need to cut these down just a little bit in order to make them work. So it's basically just cutting them down, gluing them, making sure that everything is set for them. Now I have also never used the little pop-up thing either, so you're seeing a whole lot of firsts. I had watched a couple of the Lawn Fun videos before doing this, just so I could figure out how they actually worked, considering that, again, I haven't used them. These are also older dyes from a few years ago. So the pop-up thing came around whenever the toaster stuff came around, and you'll see that I think next week. No, not next week. I will do one that has a toaster in it. It will be sometime soon. Um, Not really for Valentine's Day, but I'll put something together. So this is the last one, and then I gotta figure out how I'm going to do the card, which one that I want to pop up, stuff like that. And it's mostly me just like thinking while doing this, because while I'm actually making these videos, I'm quiet. I might have a like a video going in the background. So with this pull tab also comes a couple of other things. As you can see, I'm clipping it because haha, I don't use them. This is the first time with me using stuff. So making sure that all the little nips are taken out so I don't jam them into my skin on accident. I've done that. I've done that a couple of times and it's no fun. So I'm lining up the card and realizing that it was a little bit too big. So I cut it so that I can center it and it'll be nice and nice. With this, you take the center of the card because I'm putting the camera in the center, and that's the little pull tab thing. There are a couple of other ones that have a pull tab that are centered, but this is what came with. That little top metal piece doesn't go over the paper. It slides up right against it. And that is for the up and down thing. Then it'll be more die cutting. So unfortunately with this, I was I'm following Cindy Gunter Baldo. She does a couple of plan with me's. She does all of the font work and the drawing for Christian Designs stuff. Like the Celebrate collection is all her and Christian. Um, and Christian Designs is a Texas company. She is from Houston. She's around Houston. So, because I am in Texas, and she's a really nice lady too. She just had a baby. She had a baby girl. And so it is nice to support local-ish business as much as I can. But anyway, Cindy had this whole thing this year of use what you have, and that washi tape that's right there, was something that I wanted to use up all of, and it didn't happen. So I will be carrying it out and using it throughout the year until it's gone. I am not a fan of Valentine's Day stuff. Um, the whole cutesy one day a year to be lovey-dovey is ridiculous to me. So anyway, now you can see what this is. Um, for this, it really doesn't matter what piece of paper that you use. I'm just using up the spare black piece of paper. I don't use that little pull tab thing. With this one, this is just me experimenting with things on how this is going to work, so most of it looks pretty good, and the other stuff, I am faking it till I make it. That way you can see what it looks like, I guess. So this already, that big T part already comes with lines right there so that I can fold it, which is really nice. Otherwise I would be lost. So you fold it like that, fold those back, and you fold those forward. That part right there that I'm putting in is what the little the picture is going to go on, and it goes up and down, which is really nifty. The things that they come up with is fantastic. You're going to see me make a mistake right here. I'm only supposed to do that on the middle part, not the whole thing. So I put it down and then really put it down, and then the OS moment occurs where, oh, I need to take this part up. Oops. And there it is. The moment of, oh, I'm glad nobody's going to see this. And I did it for both sides. Now, thankfully, with this, the glue roller that I have, all you gotta do is just rub on it and the stuff will go away, which is really nice. So there, and that's it. Now, if it's still a little bit wobbly, you can either double up and make the pull tab thicker with another piece of paper, or you can add another holder farther down. That's up to you. So I'm putting this, it goes in there like that. And then I'm kind of figuring out where I'm going to put the camera. Realize that that failed because it's not attached to it. But this is the hardest part, I think, is trying to figure out where you're going to put that. So I could have easily put the line that it goes up and down, the rectangular hole. I could have easily put it up more, so I didn't have to put that up more. There are a whole bunch of things. Like I said, this is my first time playing with it, so it is trial and error. But yeah, that's the thought right there. Now, I did like that it was right there. That way, in your brain, you can, pull it out and you know that there's something there rather than it getting hitched on that hole and having a problem. Now, with this, they do say that you want some foam so that it's not squished in there. You can use foam squares. I have a big thing. I have a big roll of foam, and that's what I use. I could have also done the bottom and didn't. So it goes right back in there. I make sure that the line that it goes up and down on is covered. I think in the next one I also want to do something for the background, like stamp the whole background. But I didn't really think about it. Again, with this taking an hour, it's a lot. And this is just something to where you can see what they look like. And also me having fun. So I don't know if they'll go to anybody or if they're just sort of examples of things. Not really sure. So then I'm looking on here. The last thing that I put is glad you're in my pack. I'm trying to line it up on there and I just fail miserably. um, so if you guys like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. Again, if you have any comments for any particular cards that you want to see, if you want me to use mice, if you want me to use more of the wolves, Um, what else do I have? I have dogs, I have cats, kinda. I have a raccoon. Please make sure to comment so that I know. Also, I'm putting these two in here. I like the whole thought of putting a lot of pictures in there. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Again, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week with an easy card after this one.